Hey, you. Yeah, you. I have a proposition to make to you. You should totally subscribe to this channel. I'd thank you greatly. Think of all the possibilities that could come out of it. Anyways, thank you for watching. On to the video. Reading record 106. As I walked into my normal job, which I had been going to ever since the CTC Foundation finally broke a hole in the infected lines. Perhaps shocking at first, but it truly showed us survivors that there is still hope in the dark shadows of the past, as ripples of light would crack through the walls that limited our ultimate success. The CTC Foundation were truly here for us, the world, and for humanity. Not many questioned them, as they were truly the only ones fighting back the infected and looking for a cure, so the sudden disappearance of family members didn't concern many. Walking into my office, I noticed everyone's attitude began to shift towards me. Or had something changed? A feeling I've never experienced before. It started off as a slight burning feeling, to all of a sudden a feeling of fear. I sat down at my desk, but words were few and blurry. Sam? Oh, Sam. Are you okay, buddy? The hell's gotten into you? It was my colleague, Emily Fuki. She seemed to always be there, ever since I joined up here at the CTC Intelligence Agency. It seemed like she always had a big grin on her face. A sense of worry was gone. I don't know, but I think I did like her. But I know I might not be able to ever tell her. Sam, the hell is wrong with you? Your eyes, they're red, Sam. I'm taking you to the hospital right now. You ain't well. Before I knew it, she grabbed my hand and rushed me into her car. Racing down the highway and narrow streets, she would eventually get to the hospital. We were going up the stairs to the hospital before Emily turned around and put her arm around my shoulder. There was a sudden pain, but it went black. I woke up in a hospital bed, shouting for help, but not a doctor or nurse in sight. The whole room was silent, all except for a heart monitor that was beating slowly. I looked around and it looked to be I was the only patient in the room. I fell back in silence, left to my own thoughts. But before I could really start thinking about anything, two voices in the hallway started talking. She said he was of high value to the agency, so this sudden side effect may become crucial to the ultimate success of the experiment, said one deep, blindingly echoing voice through the hallway. Experiment? What was he on about? And Emily, she in it too? Before I could think any further, the young lady's voice arose. Well, this ghastly, sir. Please, understand he is no threat. We are on our duty to help him. Before we know it, he'll end up like the rest of them. There's something we can do. We can't just leave it up to the scientists no more. The deep voice would soon overtake her, cutting her off and most likely leaving her in shock. I do agree, of course, as such I would with anything that comes out of your mouth. You'd think I'd tell you anything without believing in you already. Yes, Sam is in desperate need of help. If we are to do anything we are needed to do, we must cut our communications immediately. The doors to my room slammed open, shutting my eyes to try to act as if I never heard anything they had just been talking about. They grabbed my arm and shook me. Samuel, you awake? I sprung up and asked them what was going on and what was wrong with me. Look, we don't have much time to explain. Just come with us. As soon as she was finished talking, 4 dark shadows appeared. 2 on my right from the window and 2 on my left from the door. Before I could say anything, the 2 entering the door wasted no time. One raised a handgun with a silencer. It all happened so suddenly. But from the window, a shot burst out, breaking it, and hitting the nurse in the head, and the doctor spun around to be met by the end of a pistol. Blood splattered all over me, leaving me in utter shock, as the men grabbed me and stabbed me with a needle. All I could hear were the bodies of the nurse and the doctor hit the ground. At the agency, we had been studying the state of the infected and knew how they work, or understanding how they work, trying to put ones and zeros together to figure out methods of monitoring them. It's been about 10 days since I came here. Wasn't my choice either, after losing my family in America. I was thrown onto a plane at the time, and I thought I was lucky, but now I think otherwise. The plane I was on crashed in the middle of a forest. I only had a barbed wire baseball bat and an apple and a glow stick. I'd walked for hours before. Sorry, the crash. It hurt my lungs, my chest. It hurts as I'm writing this. Anyways, I was walking, felt like hours before finding a small fishing town not far from the city's capital. And there I met a man by the name of Shadow. He had told me about a school that he was trying to set up, and he offered me to spot there, as you can call it, a Megan. I took it. We're safe and fed, and there's still room for your people as well. This is Northern Executives Log 1. Well, it's been some time now. After spending so much time alone, I never thought I'd miss the things of a rude joke or the laugh of a friend as much as I would. It's only been a few days on my own, building walls to keep the infected and the people looking for an easy robbery outside. Sitting in my barn, eating fresh fruit and drinking some stale soda, I pass the time mostly by traveling from town to town, gathering an assortment of junk that I can hopefully pass off as legitimate barter material to anyone that passes through. I unfortunately haven't seen anyone as of late. I wake up, build more walls, and by the time the sweat dries and night comes, I lay my head down on the musty hay that's been sitting in my barn for months now. Update. A surprising face visited me today. I heard a voice over the radio while I was working on the wall on the perimeter. He stopped by the farm to sell some goods. He, thankfully, had much needed nails. His name was Wandering Trader, or at least that was his nickname, he said. An interesting fellow. As long as he could keep bringing me supplies, I'll be sure to keep my radio handy. Another person arrived this morning, also. A British fellow by the name of Getz. He sold me a few backpacks worth of goods and military surplus as he pulled in with his black gunter. I was busy erecting my masterpiece in a large tower on the edge of the compound, lit to keep bandits away and perhaps to point friendly faces in the right direction. Well, night's coming, and I'll hook up the generator for the first time. I pray to any who will hear me. It works. I never claimed to be a small engines mechanic before. Anyways, I ought to get going now. I pray to everyone out there that you should all keep moving. And hopefully, if you find my compound, as long as you're friendly and your gun's away, feel free to stop by and maybe I can trade some goods with you. Anyways, Northern out. Hey there, y'all. I'd like to thank you again for watching. Sorry for the bit of a rude intro. Oh, my mic fell out. Yeah, I don't have the best equipment doing this, but I thought I'd do, the readings, the stories from other players in DayZ. Because there's a lot of interesting stories that not a lot of people hear, because, some people just stick to one server and whatnot. Unless you're one of the chads that go from other servers, like me, jumping between a few. A lot again, sorry. Yeah, so the footage you're seeing here is of a project I'm going to do where it's going to be somewhat kind of animated. It's essentially my process on how I do things. It's a little snippet how I build everything together. But yeah, I like to thank y'all again. Thank y'all for watching. If you thought I did good, like the video. Tell me in the comments if I did all right. If I did piss poor, you can dislike the video or choose not to like it at all and tell me what I can do better in the comments. Because it's very early stage. I'm doing this first. This is first time I'm doing this, so yeah, I had to be very thankful for you guys to send me, feedback. Anyways, I don't want to keep you here too long. Thank you all for watching, and have a good morning, good night, wherever you are.